Welcome everyone. So now we are done with loops, and we have taken an example of going to schools, which is a type of loop for us, and as going from Monday to Friday or Saturday regularly. But just assume that on any particular day, like on Thursday, you have different periods that you hate, and that you hate literally. So you try to skip that day, but you have to complete the loop. So what will you do? So as you can make a holiday on that day. Similarly, in loops we have a function continue, and this is used to skip particular values. Like just assume a loop in which I have to print values from 1 to 100. Then I will start from I is equal to 1 and up to I less than 101 and print all these values, but I have to skip values from 30 to 40. Now I have two options. Now either I will build a loop from 1 to 30 and then from 51 to 100, and instead of building another loop we can use continue. So what will continue do? It will skip these values which we do not want to have in our project. And let me try to understand it practically, but before that let me have this syntax for continue. So syntax for continue is just continue with statement terminators. So we have done a project of fading an LED in for loop. I think all you remember that, and I think all of you have also tried that. So we have to write the code again, and I think you should have to do this right now. So try to implement the code, and I think you have paused the video and tried to write the code, but don't worry if you did not able to. So let me write the code again, and we did not copy paste the code so that you can understand it again and will be more easy for you. So we have taken an LED in that code and just an LED. So in void setup we have made the LED, or nothing. And I think you can answer now, why should we have not written anything in void setup? I think you got up because it's a analog project. So while working on analog, it's by default output. So now about loop. It's a very interesting and perfect code for explaining different concepts. Now what we have, a for loop and a variable of fade initialize at 0, and then we have fade less than equal to 255, which is the maximum brightness we have, and then we have fade plus with an increment of 5. And then what will happen in loop? We have analog, write that LED pin, and then fade. And now one more thing here, I'm using analog, right, but I'm using a digital pin because pin number 9 is a digital pin. So it's a also new concept here. You can use digital pin or analog pins for writing particular values in analog or digital. It's not a much important thing. You can use any of the pin you can want to. As I told you that you can also use one pin for many connections, which I will show you later. But I want to say that you can connect more than one sensor or one component to single pin. It will also work. Most of electronic students have studied about multiplexers similar to this. We can use a single pin for different communications. Now what we have in this, another for loop in which fade is initialized at 255, and then fade greater than equal to 0, and fade decrease by factor of 5. And what will happen there? Analog right LED pin fade, and then we have a delay of 30 milliseconds. So this is our previous code, and you will ask that what's the difference in this code now, but till now there is no difference in the code. The code is same to that, and what will happening in the code is that the LED is first starting from 0 brightness and goes up to maximum brightness by a factor of 5, and the process is a little faster. So you just see the LED getting brighter, and then you see the LED get faded in the next loop. So now let we have a particular issue that we did not want the brightness from 40 to, let's suppose, any value like 120, 150, as 120 is by default example. So let we take 40 to 120. So if the fade is greater than 40, try to understand the thing, and I have used the annotator here. Fade is less than 120. So I have put a condition here that if the fade is greater than 40 and less than 120, because I did not want these values. So what I will do here, I just use if the condition is true, then continue. So this simple block will eliminate the values from 40 to 120, and I will get every of the different brightness except these brightnesses. So this is the continue statement. Now let me check the code and try to implement the code whether it's working or not. So nothing more about continue. I think you understand what the continue means. Just to skip some particular values in any of the loop. You can also use this in any other loop. So let me upload the code on board, and here we have saved the code. And now it's compiling the sketch. I think code is correct. Here we go. The code is completely correct and uploaded on the board. Now let me move to the board and check whether it's working or not. And I suggest you to imply the code by yourself and also build the project, because this code is very important one. So see you on board. So here we are on the board, and now let me imply the continue statement to a practical work. So here we have an LED, and I will make a simple connection of it as usual. Here I have connected purple to positive terminal and this mud color to negative terminal. So here we have pin number 9 and we have uploaded the code. Now let me power up the Arduino. So here it is. So as you can see here, the LED is glowing and fading as in for loop, but there is a break. As you can notice, when it's getting brighter, there is a break here. Now this break is due to the continue statement. I think most of you was able to notice the break here when it's getting brighter. So it will be more focused when you cell build the code. So this is the continue statement. I hope you understand the video. So see you in the next video.